They're going to run it back on Saturday in Mexico City, highly anticipated rematch. A fight that was originally supposed to be Moreno versus Albazi. Albazi withdraws. Royval steps in. Headliner, Mexico. What a scene it's going to be. And Brandon Royval is kind enough to join us right now from Mexico City. There he is, Mr. Raw Dog himself. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm super excited that I wasn't sure if that Haney Garcia fight's going to go down.
Oh, yeah.
Garcia, that's probably taking all the hardest fights possible.
Isn't that crazy? In a sport where like a young guy like him would probably try to take easier fights to build himself back up, he's fighting the top dogs time and again.
I know. He's like a real interesting case because even with that Tank fight, he did that like hydration clause.
Yeah.
Like, he's really just going for it, which is dope. He's one of the like probably the most top paid, like one of the most top paid boxers out there right now. But it's like, bro, like take a pick me fight real quick or something. But that being said, as a boxing fan, like I'm glad he does it, and I'm glad he calls out everybody, bro. He's like he's really just trying to get everything. So
are you a big really boxing fan?
Yeah, I'm a boxing fan.
Who's your guy or guys? Who are you really into?
I have a couple people because like I don't know, man. I like Inoue a lot, but my favorite fighter, like my favorite up and coming fighter right now is Ennis, bro.
Boots.
Boots.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so sick, and it's like as a southpaw, he fights southpaw kind of a lot. I like his style, man. He does so much cool stuff, and I really just want to see him. I'm sure he's not going to get an opportunity before. Oh shit! Sorry, did I fade out?
No, you're here. You're good.
Okay, yeah, but it'd be cool to see him go against some of like the top guys. But I wouldn't want to face him right now.
Oh man, Boots is great. Inoue is one of my favorites to watch. Boxing's on fire these days. It's a great time. MMA is on fire. You're in Mexico. You're fighting one of their native sons, their pride and joy, Brandon Moreno, and a big return for the UFC to Mexico. What kind of reception are you getting over there? What are the people saying to you on the street?
On the street, I mean, no one was really saying anything to me on the street. I wasn't getting too much reception at all. So, I mean, it's just like usual. Like when you land, you get a couple fans like come up there. There's a couple people in the hotel and all that stuff. But I got in pretty late last night. So I got in at like 8:30 last night, and then this morning I pretty much woke up and started doing interviews. And this is like my first kind of chance to chill right after this. So we're gonna go explore a little bit, and then I have to do a face off. So I've been pretty busy since I've been here.
So that's really interesting. I figured you have been there for a while, just given the altitude and whatnot. Usually people like to get there early. Why are you arriving so... I mean, I know typically it's a Tuesday arrival for a fight week. You arrived yesterday. That's Tuesday. Yeah. Why did you arrive on a Tuesday and not come earlier?
I believe altitude's a mind state thing, you know?
Wow.
No, I'm just playing.
Okay, no, I was like,
what? I grew up in Denver. I live in Denver, Colorado. It's I live in like 6,000 feet. Almost.
Okay.
And then I've been training up in Evergreen, which is like almost 8,000 feet. So I'm really not.
It's the same.
I feel like this elevation thing. Yeah. It's like it's really not a big difference to me. When we got to the hotel, I went and trained like for an hour and a half straight. I honestly forgot there's like an elevation difference or like an altitude difference until one of my boys said something. He's like, yeah, he goes, yeah, you're doing good considering the altitude. And I'm like, oh shit, I forgot that was like a thing. But yeah, so I'm just blessed enough to kind of live in the Mile High City.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I wonder if it's all created equal, if it's all the same, if you're living and breathing over there. I guess we'll find out on Saturday. So how did this all come about? Obviously, we saw you in December, and I'd love to ask you about that as well, but you coming in on relative short notice to replace Albazi in this spot, big opportunity for you. How did it all get presented to you?
I kind of honestly, like, before I even fought Pantoja, I had a feeling like Albazi was going to pull out. I heard some like weird health things with him. I wasn't sure, I wasn't sure completely. So I told myself in my head, I'm like, if I win the belt or whatever, I would love to just do a quick turnaround and fight Moreno for the belt if Albazi pulls out on this, on this scene. So then I lost the fight, and it's like, bro, that's even a better, like, what, I'm not going to do it now? But I was sitting on my couch, or like I was just chilling. This is like 3 weeks after the fight. I'm probably not, like, I'm eating, doing all the worst shit probably. And I got a call, asked if I could be a backup for the Albazi Moreno fight. I was like, sure, like, free trip to Mexico City, get paid for it, make weight, whatever. I was pretty stoked on it. And then within like 18 hours, 17 hours, I got a call and they're like, all right, you're in. And I was like, I'm in what? You're fighting Moreno in Mexico City. I was like, fuck yeah, that's a great opportunity. It kind of pulled me out of like a you know, the bullshit place that happens when you like lose a fight, and especially like a big fight like I lost. So it was like a kind of like a good way to get my mind state right and all that too. Just something to focus on, something to a task at hand, you know.
So what happened against Pantoja? Why did it not go your way, in your opinion?
I feel like I've prepped super well for Pantoja and the Pantoja that I've always seen, and he kind of pulled like a very championship esque thing. Is just like he like pulled off the gas compared to what he normally does. Like he's normally doesn't fight as calculated or like caution to the wind, kill or be killed type of fighter. And like I was like 100% ready for something like that. And he was very calculated in his approach, very like cautious, I would say. And I wasn't prepared for a fight like that. I was prepared to go body to body, try to kill each other and all that. And he switched it up, and I feel like that's one thing that I've been missing in my game is just changing it up on the fly. And I felt like that was something that he did really well in that fight. And something that I could take away from it is just making adjustments on the fly and on the go. And he did that really well. That first round, or after that first round, he came out that second round, and not even like the way he approached me striking. Like the first round, he came at me straight at me. And that's pretty much what I prepared for. The second round, he didn't, and he was just looking to secure takedowns and control, and he was obviously looking for finishes still. But I guess he just had a way more calculated measure than I expected him to do, and I didn't make an adjustment on the way. So yeah, I feel like that was a big part of like the reason I lost.
That was a big one, title fight, big pay-per-view. How do you feel like all of that affected you? Did it affect you in any sort of way? The nerves, the anxiety, all of that?
No, man, that was actually what. Bro, I feel like I get so scared to walk out. I get so like afraid to fight, and that was like one of the first times I wasn't like just emotionally messed up walking out. I was like,
Wow.
"This is the coolest thing. This is the coolest thing ever." So maybe that's something to take away. Is just maybe I need to start hating my life before I make these walkouts, because that's what was happening originally. Like every time I ever walked out from the UFC, I'm like, "Bro, I can't believe like I don't want to do this. I don't want to do any of this crap." Like I'm like freaking out a little bit. That was the first time where I kind of just embraced the moment, and I was like, "This is awesome. I worked hard to get here. This is a dream come true." And if you would ask me before the walkout and that warm up and like on the walkout, I would have bet my whole purse on myself. Like I honestly thought there was no way I was going to lose that fight. So it's kind of crazy, like looking back on how poorly I did. I think it like upsets me. I'm so happy to kind of get another chance right away against another like sweet opponent and another great opportunity. And and then my first main event in the UFC is it's just all blessings, right?
So is there a case to be made that you need to be in a place where you hate life and then you actually perform better when you're in that state of mind?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case that I'm going with. I feel like it's just that walkout. Like I get super nervous for it. The walkout is really hard for me. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's harder with this whole fighting thing. That walkout usually is a lot scarier for me compared to what it was that day of that fight. And the day of that fight, I've never been so excited to walk out. I was like all smiles, and normally I'm not any of that. So I feel like walking in enemy's territory, probably getting booed or whatever it is could put me back into that fear-based place. And I feel like and I also just feel like in that fight too, I was just trying to fight super calculated and show a different version of myself, and lost a little bit of the raw dogness or whatever the hell you want to say it is. It's just I lost a little bit of that edge, and I feel like I could do a little bit of both. I can press on the gas, hit the brake a little bit, and I feel like that would be a really good way to fight right
How did you handle the loss? What was the aftermath like?
now. I mean, man, not well, bro. It sucked. It definitely sucked. I definitely was in my head for a while until they offered me this fight. It was a good way to kind of just get me focused. And I was actually like hurt too. Like I couldn't train right off the bat. My hand was all messed up, and I couldn't train right off the bat. So it was just kind of like a way to like, all right, we got something to focus on. We got a task at hand, and it was a really good way to just kind of pull me out of a funk.
When you say you were in your head, what do you mean by that? Like you started doubting yourself? You didn't want to train? You didn't want to go to the gym?
A little bit of everything, man. And like, keep in mind, it was a holidays. It was a New Year.
Yeah.
Like right after that, it was like Christmas, New Year's, and but like there was like normally I'm back in the gym right away. There's like 3 weeks where I was just fucking, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I was just kind of, yeah. Just I don't know, bro. It was like your dreams are in your hands. You know what I'm saying? Like my dream was right in front of me. And, the fact that I dropped the ball there was heartbreaking.
Yeah. And so, like you said, it's great to get back on track here. And I'm curious, you have a history with Brandon Moreno, that is. So this probably helps a little bit. When's the last time you watched that first fight from 2020?
I actually didn't do any video study on our first fight for this fight at all.
Really?
I've only watched his like most recent. Yeah. I only watched his most recent fights. It probably been a year, honestly. Now I think about it, that I like went back and watched the Moreno fight.
That's really interesting for me because I watched it last night, and the closing sequence is tough to watch. Like you're clearly in a lot of pain there, right? You
Yeah.
dislocated your shoulder, correct?
Yeah.
And it was a little bit surprising that it went on as long as it did. Like that pain there, there's like a 15-second stretch where knowing what to look for. I'm not blaming it on the referee Mark Goddard, but like knowing what to look for, you could see the moment where you are in a lot of pain. Can you describe what that felt like as he's raining blows on you and you're just trying to almost like protect your shoulder at that point?
I was trying to pop it back in. I was trying to straighten, like the way I popped my shoulder back in was I would straighten it out and then turn my wrist.
Oh
So a few
man.
times I was pulling it, trying to pop it back in while trying to not get the fight stopped. But in my head, or like looking back now, and not that I have shoulder issues anymore, it's like I wish I would have just stood on top, because the moment my shoulder dislocated, I was like, oh shit, and then I fell on my back. It's like if I would have stood on top, the fight wouldn't have been stopped at least until a couple seconds later, you know? And I only had 1 second before Mark Goddard stopped it. So it was like, by that time, my coach could have popped my shoulder back in, and we could have had a good old 10 minutes left of that fight.
Did you need surgery after that?
Yeah, I got lateral J surgery, which is like kind of a complicated shoulder surgery. But yeah, I had like I don't know if you could
Oh
see
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
a big old scar. Yeah, I got a lateral.
Do you feel any effects from that anymore, or like does it ever pop up? Does it ever rear its head?
No, I don't even think about it. Honestly, I'm back to being my kind of right hand.
I think
All that.
I think the speaker on your thing got pushed back, and now we don't hear you as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm back to being like right hand dominant, and yeah. But before then, it was like I couldn't use my right hand really. You know, like I was training just left hands, kicks, and then I couldn't grab. When your shoulders messed up like that, you can't wrestle, you can't grapple. So it was like almost a year where I was just not wrestling, grappling. Pretty much at that point, it was like my whole UFC career. Like I didn't do any of that stuff. It was just working on kicks, throwing the left hand, and then like I knew when it was fight time, I could throw the jab and stuff, but I couldn't hit the punching bag. There's no
Wow.
hooks on the punching bag. There's no jabs on the punching bag, none of that stuff, because the possibility of my shoulder dislocating. And if I dislocated my shoulder, it would put me out for like a week before I could go back to training and stuff. So it was a mess, man. It was a mess. And it sucked that it happened during the fight, but I was grateful that I was able to get that surgery done.
Yeah. And I would imagine this has been a fight that you've wanted ever since then, right? Like even before he became Brandon Moreno superstar, just to kind of right the wrong and have a conclusive finish.
Yeah, for sure. And then it was just like, it's just more of like the status that he carries, you know, is he's the number one contender, or he has the number one next to his name. And it's like, if he went on and didn't do what he did, I wouldn't be chasing him, or like I wouldn't have been so eager to take this fight. It's just the fact that he's at where I need to be at, you know, like I need that number one next to my name. I need to do all that. So it's like, obviously, like I'll fight any of these flyweights, but I'm more eager to fight him because, you know, he's a former champion. He has the number one contender. All that other stuff plays into it, you know.
Did you see his fight against Pantoja? And if so, do you think there's a case that he won the fight?
I thought he lost 4 rounds in that fight, to be honest.
Okay.
I thought Pantoja won the fight clearly. And like when I watched that fight, I was in the arena with like a dominant Mexican crowd around me. So I was like, I could have easily been swayed the other way, but like while at the arena watching it, I thought Pantoja won 4 rounds. And then looking back, I thought Pantoja also won 4 rounds. So I didn't think he won my fight.
I was just asked this question earlier in the show. They need a main event for the Brazil pay-per-view. That's on May 4th. It was supposed to be Alex Pereira, but then he got moved to 300. And I feel like Pantoja is the only guy available that could headline that, who's, you know, champion, who's Brazilian. Do you think there's a chance that the winner of this fight gets Pantoja in 3 months? Is that possible? Has that been said to you?
I thought for sure Brandon Moreno wins, even though me and him were coming off the same position, the same
Yeah.
loss, that they'll give it to him. But I didn't think they were going to necessarily give it to me. But I just found out that Pantoja's here. Pantoja's here. He's going to be in the audience and all that stuff. So maybe there's going to be something.
Wow.
So some a little extra to fight for, besides just the number one contender spot and all that. But yeah, I just found out Pantoja's here. So maybe there is a little something deeper than this.
If you get a definitive finish, I feel like you're the guy.
That's what I'm saying too, bro. And that's like, man, respect to Pantoja for sure. It's just I know I could win that fight. I know I could beat him. I know that that's a winnable fight for me. And I feel like he did a lot of great things during that fight and a lot of cool adjustments and stuff. But it's like, man, nobody beats me 3 times in a row. That's crazy.
Who's a tougher matchup for you, regardless of how it went in the past? Like the puzzle in your mind, Moreno or Pantoja?
Oh, Pantoja for sure. I feel like Moreno does a lot of things that will benefit me.
How so?
And then also him being in a Mexican crowd is going to like influence him to fight even harder. I feel like a lot of my losses have been kind of similar, of just like people like holding positions and controlling and a lot of control time. A lot of my losses have been like those kind of decisions of just me getting controlled and outpositioned and all that stuff. Where I don't think Moreno's that kind of fighter that like wants to just control position. He's going to try to do damage. And if that tries to do damage, he's going to create space. That space will allow me to throw up submissions, allow me to get up, allow me to attack. And I feel like that completely benefits, my fighting style.
Any lucha libre on tap for the week? You going to go to any
Bro, I want to I don't want to make plans before or after the fight, but that's exactly what I want to do on Sunday.
Oh, man.
If everything goes well, if the crowd doesn't hate me or whatever it is, it's just like I want to spend an extra day out there and watch Lucha Libre for sure.
Sick.
That's like, I know, and then eat, enjoy life a little bit. But Mexico City's cool, bro. Like I've never been here before, so I want to embrace it. And you don't get too many opportunities to travel to different countries, and so far I'm just staying busy, so I don't really get an opportunity to like explore.
I've been there a couple of times. There's some of those stores there that have like the authentic luchador masks, like the handmade ones that you can buy. They're pretty sick. So if you're a fan of that stuff, even just to look at, like just to see like the detail and all that, it's pretty remarkable.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of all that stuff, man. I saw Rey Mysterio. Actually, I saw Rey Mysterio at it was a Moreno Pantoja fight.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to fan out so bad. but like I don't want to chase him around. Hey, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rey Mysterio's my favorite wrestler of all time. So.
Oh wow. Do you like his son?
Yeah, his son wrestles.
His son Dominic.
I haven't been paying attention to the.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been paying attention to the wrestling scene lately, but the Mexican wrestlers out here, bro, they're all high flyers. Those are my favorite kind of wrestling anyway. So yeah, it's cool, man. I was watching wrestling highlights on the way here. Just like I think. The arena that I thought we were fighting at is one of the huge Lucha Libre arenas. And I was just watching highlights after highlights. How can I implement this shit into like a fight or something?
Yo, walk out with a mask. Walk out with a mask. Confuse the crowd. Maybe they'll cheer for you.
I know, straight up. I know. I hope that, because I always just forget that his name's Brandon. I'm like so conceited that I always forget his name's Brandon too. Like mid fight, if they start chanting Brandon, I'm gonna think they love me or something stupid. So
well, that would be quite the move. That would confuse everyone. You come out with the mask. I'm not sure how they would feel about it, but it would be a nice move. I would respect it. Above all of that, wish you the best, man. Good luck out there. I know it was disappointing back in December, but here's your chance to get right back on track. So very happy that you got this opportunity and appreciate the time as always.
Yeah, you too, bro. Thank you for having me on.
All right, there he is. Brandon Royval, big opportunity for him. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You can get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.